Ingat makam. So today I decided to do a very basic Rumshan grammar video. It's the first of its kind, and it's just very basic grammar, as in introduce the pronouns and verb tenses. So how to make past tense, present tense, future tense, etc. So this is just to give a very basic idea of the process. So just to go over some of the pronouns first, there is I, ga or ga. So I put two forms in Rumshan. There is a long version of a pronoun. That is the first one that I show. Ga, it's its own word. Or there's a thing called eclectic. It's like something you attach to a verb with a dash. So I represent here it with a dash, but usually when I write Rumshan, I do not use the dash. I just leave ga as its own. So ga or ga. Me, as in like I love me, is like the object. It is gosh or gunnish. So gosh is a lot more common. Gunnish in some cases, but for now, just focus on gosh. You is me or me. You, as in the object, is mesh or mesh. He, she, it is just third person. There's no gender in Rumshan. Long word is wakai, or you can just say wa. Rarely wa happens too. That doesn't happen a lot though. Him, her, it is wash. We is mak or mak. So these kind of are the same, mak or mak. Us is maksh. And there is a hidden E between the K and the S. So maksh is the full word, but of course we usually say maksh. You all and you are very different in Rumshan. Make sure to distinguish this. But you all is makkam, or mum. You all, as in the object, like we give this to all of you, is makkamsh or mumsh. Makkamsh, mumsh. They is utti. Only one form, and them is uttiyashan. So let's go over the most basic tense, the present tense. So I'm only going to introduce two verbs in this video, which is to learn orders. So as mentioned before in my other videos, there is an underlying form in all nouns and verbs in Rumshan, and the underlying form is in the slashes. There's a hidden E. So this will come up later. But for now, in the present tense, you do not need to worry about the underlying form because you just add the pronoun in front of the verb. So I learn. Ga orders. You learn. Me orders. He, she, it learns. Wa orders. We learn. Mak orders. You all learn. Makkam orders. They learn. Utti orders. So the other word that is going to come up a lot is chunnui, to sing. And the underlying form is in the slashes. But again, present tense, you do not need to worry about that. I sing. Gachunnui. You sing. Mechunnui. He, she, it sings. Wachunnui. We sing. Makchunnui. You all sing. Makkam chunnui. They sing. Utti chunnui. So now there's a thing called the present progressive, which is basically something like I am blah 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 ing. So pačču denotes ing in English. So to learn again is orders. I'm learning. Pačču ka orders. You're learning. pačču me urus. Pačču me urus. He, she, it's learning. Pačču urus. Pačču urus. We're learning. Pačču mak urus. Pačču mak urus. You all are learning. Pačču mam urus. Pačču mam urus. They're learning. Pačču uti urus. Pačču uti urus. So you noticed probably that we did not put pačču wa urus. When you say pačču, for he, she, it, you do not use any pronoun. It's just blank. So pačču, then the verb. Pačču urus. To sing is čunnuj. I'm singing. Pačču ka čunnuj. Pačču ka čunnuj. You're singing. Pačču me čunnuj. Pačču me čunnuj. He, she, it's singing. Pačču čunnuj. Pačču čunnuj. We're singing. Pačču mak čunnuj. Pačču mak čunnuj. You all are singing. Pačču mam čunnuj. Pačču mam čunnuj. They're singing. Pačču uti čunnuj. Pačču uti čunnuj. So pačču mak and pačču mam are very similar. So you have to be careful in that. So let's go over the past tense. There are many ways to use past tense in rumshen, but for these kind of verbs, action verbs, just the N at the end is enough. So this is when we see the underlying form come up. Oh, this is a typo, but there should be an E after the S in the slashes. I learned. Ka ursen. You learned. Me ursen. He, she, it learned. Wa ursen. We learned. Mak ursen. You all learned. Mam ursen. They learned. Uti ursen. So for to sing is again chunnuj. And we need this underlying form now. So I sang. Ka chunyun. You sang. Me chunyun. He, she, it sang. Wa chunyun. We sang. Mak chunyun. You all sang. Mam chunyun. They sang. Uti chunyun. So there's another form of past tense that comes up a lot, and the word for arra means already. Usually use a ki at the end of a verb. Sometimes you use a y, but the y at the end is a very special case, which I will explain in future times. So to learn again is urus, and this time you do need the underlying form. I already learned it. Arra ka wash ursaki. Arra ka wash ursaki. You already learned it. Arra me wash ursaki. Arra me wash ursaki. He, she, it already learned it. Arra wash ursaki. Arra wash ursaki. We already learned it. Arra mak wash ursaki. Arra mak wash ursaki. You all already learned it. Arra mam wash ursaki. Arra mam wash ursaki. They already learned it. Arra uti wash ursaki. Arra uti wash ursaki. So again, you'll notice that in arra, when we use that, we do not put wa for he, she, it. It's just no pronoun. Arra wash ursaki. Remember, wash means him, her, it. So this case, it means it. Say chunnui, to sing. I already sang. Arra ka chunyuki. Arra ka chunyuki. You already sang. Arra me chunyuki. Arra me chunyuki. He, she, it already sang. Arra chunyuki. Arra chunyuki. We already sang. Arra mak chunyuki. Arra mak chunyuki. You all already sang. Arra mam chunyuki. Arra mam chunyuki. They already sang. Arra uti chunyuki. Arra uti chunyuki. So, here is future. If you want to say I will blank, he will blank. So again, to learn urus, I'll learn. Kaku urus. Kaku urus. You'll learn. Meku urus. Meku urus. He, she, it'll learn. Wakaiku urus. Wakaiku urus. We'll learn. Makku urus. Makku urus. You all will learn. Makamku urus. Makamku urus. They'll learn. Utiku urus. Utiku urus. So wakai is optional. You can say ku urus and it'll mean he'll learn, it'll learn, she'll learn, something like that. chunui. I'll sing ka ku chunui. Ka ku chunui. You'll sing me ku chunui. Me ku chunui. He, she, it'll sing ku chunui or wa kai ku chunui. We'll sing mak ku chunui. Mak ku chunui. You all will sing makam ku chunui. Makam ku chunui. They'll sing utti ku chunui. Utti ku chunui. So there are some cases where if you want to add some other adverb like tomorrow or later, Isabel does this a lot. It is a slightly different process. Slightly different. So let's look at it. Again, for future, you do not really need to know the underlying form. So to learn. Tomorrow I'll learn čarway kuka urus. Čarway kuka urus. Tomorrow you'll learn čarway ku me urus. Čarway ku me urus. Tomorrow it'll learn čarway ku urus. Čarway ku urus. Tomorrow we'll learn čarway ku mak urus. Čarway ku mak urus. Tomorrow you all will learn čarway ku mam urus. Čarway ku mam urus. Tomorrow they'll learn čarway ku uti urus. Čarway ku uti urus. So you can see here that for the previous future, if you just want to say I'll learn instead of tomorrow, if you want to say I'll learn, you have to use the long pronoun and then put ku. Ku means will, like future tense, after the pronoun. So ka ku urus, I'll learn. Čarway ku ka urus. Tomorrow I'll learn. So now in this case, you have to use the short pronoun after ku. So look at later, which means kuuy. Later I'll sing kuuy kuka chunui. Kuuy kuka chunui. Later you'll sing kuuy kume chunui. Kuuy kume chunui. Later he'll sing kuuy ku chunui. Kuuy ku chunui. Later we'll sing kuuy kumak chunui. Kuuy kumak chunui. Later you all will sing kuuy kumam chunui. Kuuy kumam chunui. Later they'll sing kuuy ku uti chunui. Kuuy ku uti chunui. So that's all. And I just compiled a cheat sheet here. Hopefully you can screenshot this in some way on your laptop if you need this. But let's just go over it. So I put on the form, which means like what tense, what to add, like what words, suffixes, anything like that. Pronoun before, after, explains the position where you put ga, me, wa, etc. Underlying form tells you if you need to know that hidden vowel. He, she, it, wa shows up. Sometimes I think you remember for things like pačču, which is like if you want to say he's learning, pačču urus, you do not put wa. And so the last column I put an example with cheat for to dance, cheat, which has a hidden vowel of e, chite. So present tense, you don't need to add anything. So all you have to do is just add the pronoun before the verb. So underlying form, no. So let's look at this. Gachit. Gachit. I dance. Progressive. Pačču. Put pačču. You put the pronoun after pačču. No underlying form. Wa does not show up, so pačču cheat. Pačču cheat. It's dancing. Past tense, all you have to do is add an N after the verb. You need the pronoun before the verb, and you do need the underlying form. So wachiten. Wachiten. She danced. Wachiten. So if you want to use past tense, but if you want to say already, so you put arra and the ki after the verb. So the pronoun comes after arra. Arra uti chiteki. Arra uti chiteki. They already danced. So wa does not show up. So if you want to say he danced, he already danced, you just say arra chiteki. Arra chiteki. Future is ku. And you just put the pronoun before ku. Again, this pronoun has to be the long pronoun. So you can have wa kai show up, but not wa. So ka ku cheat. Ka ku cheat. I'll dance. Ka ku cheat. If you want to say later or tomorrow, kuuy or čarway, you do put ku and you put the short vowel after ku. So kuuy kumak cheat. Kuuy kumak cheat. Later we'll dance. So shururu, hope this helped. hopefully I'll make more videos in the future.